Hey guys, it's me, Jay. This is my first video. This is Tub with a View, and today I'll be reviewing last night's episode of The Walking Dead, the Season 8 finale, finally the end of the all-out war. So for starters, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. I started reading the comic books before the show was even a thing, before Frank Darabont was involved. So the past 8 years have been filled with tears and anxiety, and sometimes frustration, but that's part of what I love about the show. Don't open! Spoilers inside! So, this will not be a ranting review, but I need to get something off my chest. I need to rant about Morgan! He has been pissing me off so bad, and it's such a shame because he is an OG comic character, he is an OG character in the show, and when they first brought him back, I was so excited. Listen, I have been vegetarian on and off in my life. You cannot be a vegan in the apocalypse! But anyway, so his character has had his ups and downs, but the past couple episodes, I've just been like, Morgan, you've got to go. He's just like running rampant, he's fucking talking to people that aren't there, there's ghosts that are coming up to him going, you know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is. And Morgan's like, ah! Excuse me. Enough with these ghosts and these visions, Morgan. I am ready for you to leave the show and go on to Fear the Walking Dead. Sorry, no disrespect, Lenny James. I love you, and I loved the character, but lately he's just been pissing me off. Moving on. So, was it a satisfying finale? Listen, the all-out war saga has been going on since mid-season 6, technically. People get tired, people move on, and unfortunately, people have been doing that. So, was it a satisfying finale? It was, for the most part. The way I feel about the finale is the way I have felt about the season of the show. The word that comes to mind is serviceable. I mean, honestly, because we have been following the story for so long, any finale would have been satisfying, because it's just time to move on. The show needs to move on. Maggie's been pregnant for 5 years. It's time to move. So let's talk about the ambush. Rick and crew were totally screwed. Negan and the Saviors had them surrounded, ready to blow them to smithereens. All of the bullets that Eugene made literally backfired into everyone's faces, and the Saviors were destroyed. I didn't expect it, and it's exciting to see Eugene finally be back on the good side, but at the same time it's frustrating. He keeps bouncing back and forth. He keeps getting redeemed and then dropping back to the floor, and I kind of just want him to be on a side already. So if he's on the good side, okay, cool. If he's on the bad side, let's kill the mofo. Pick a side, Eugene. So after the ambush happens, Rick and Negan finally have a final one-on-one together, and so Rick slits Negan's throat after Negan actually looked devastated and really forgiving and wanting to join Rick and crew and live as a big happy family, but Rick had to be a savage and cut his throat. And then for a moment I was like, oh shit, are they actually gonna let him die, or are they gonna follow suit with the comics and save his life? They chose the comics and saved his life, which I think was a good choice because Negan is still a wonderful character. He's so charismatic. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is just the best silver fox there is. And he is dope as hell, and I'm happy that they decided to keep him around. Which led to Maggie, poor Maggie, crying and screaming that he needs to die, and Lauren Cohen, again, busted my heart up. I love her, and hearing her wail in agony just over the wanting to avenge her husband's death totally destroyed me. And I was like, how is this gonna affect Maggie and Rick's relationship? Well, let me tell you, mutiny! Frickin' mutiny! What? So, this is a couple hours after the war ended. This war that has been raging on and on and on. And instead of being thankful for their lives, instead of being like, okay, we have peace, Maggie, Jesus, and Daryl, of all people, are like, now we're going to show Rick and Michonne that their way is wrong. We're going to get them. What? It seems like they're planning on going to a civil war with Rick and Michonne, of all people. That's just not like Maggie. Daryl just let Dwight live. Somebody he very much wanted to kill, but he even let Dwight live. And Jesus has spent the entire season, the entire finale, telling people and preaching about, this is why we don't kill. You need to let people live. There needs to be something after this. And then Jesus is over there with his gorgeous locks being like, yes, we will show them. We will kill Negan. Maggie, you have been pregnant for 2.5 seasons. It is time to take a chill pill. It is time to take some prenatals. And it's time to worry about your late husband's baby as opposed to avenging his death. So now that the all-out war is over, the communities are all now trying to live in peace and build a future together. And it was very fitting for an finale. It almost, like Scott Gimple said, it kind of feels like a finale for the show itself. I mean, with the way that a lot of things came full circle, the shots of Rick and Carl, young pre-apocalypse Rick and Carl walking to the farm, it did feel like there was closure and that, like, you know, it could have been a series finale. But, of course, they threw the mutiny/civil war possibility in, and it's also, this is The Walking Dead. There's not a happy ending, not in sight anyway. But so now that all the communities want to live in peace and Rick and Michonne spared Negan's life, brings me to this question. Was killing Carl off worth it? Was it necessary? Yes and no. So I've been talking about Carl, and the second I started talking about Carl, the sun decided to come out, and this bathroom is glowing up. Carl's like, no, I didn't deserve to die. They f***ed up. I still think that AMC decided to kill Carl off because he's an adult now and they didn't want to pay him the full rate of an adult. Lauren Cohen's been with the show just as long as he has. No, shorter than he has, and she's struggling to get money from AMC too. So killing Carl off is what is supposed to bring Rick to the point of his mercy, overcoming his wrath. And I think that could have come in other forms. They didn't need to kill Carl off. He's one of the most important characters on the show. He is what drives Rick. He is the future of the show, and I'm still a little bit bitter about it. So, which leads me to my next point. What is the future of the show? Where is The Walking Dead headed? I personally feel that this is a very important, essential time for this show. Viewers have been going down, everyone's been talking about that. Every internet blog you see is like, The Walking Dead is over, ratings suck. It is still bringing in so many viewers, it's just not bringing in as many as it used to. But that doesn't mean that the show is flopping. Not at all. So many people still tune in for the show. So many people still care about the show. I've got soap in my eye, it really burns. I don't want to say the quality of the show has dropped, it's just a little bit more on and off and kind of pandering than it used to be. Right now, the future of the show, besides the hint of a possible Civil War subplot, it's got a brand new slate ahead of itself. It's time for a new showrunner. It is time for some fresh ideas. Angela Kang has been on the show for years. She has written some of my favorite episodes, particularly the episode where Daryl and Beth spend an entire episode in a cabin getting drunk on moonshine and having heart-to-hearts and burning cabins down and giving it the finger. And that's one of my favorite episodes of the show. So I'm really looking forward to where she's gonna take it. Also, the next big plot in the comics, anybody that reads the comics will know that the Whisperers are coming, and I think we got a sneak peek of them last night. There's two shots in the show where Rick and crew, the Saviors, they see a massive horde of walkers. I think the biggest horde that we have seen since the beginning of season 6. And I'm betting those are the Whisperers. Now, for anyone that hasn't read the comics, the Whisperers are a gargantuan group of survivors. They don't stay in one place, they move from place to place, and how they move around, they wear zombie flesh. They wear zombie skin, and they travel in hordes and never speak above a whisper, and that is how they're able to survive. So, I think that was foreshadowing. I don't think those were normal walkers that we saw. I think those were the damn Whisperers, and they're coming. So, how I would like to end this video is giving a nice little farewell to Scott Gimple. I think he came into the show at a very important part of the show. It was where the show needed him. Season 4 is my favorite season of the show. Season 5 is so explosive. Season 5 was such a good season. Season 6 was a good season, but it had its issues, and it started to do things that kind of pissed me off. And Season 7 and 8, I won't call them bad, but they were just okay. So I think it's time to start with a fresh showrunner, and that's what we've got Angela Kang for. So, bye Scott, bring on Angela Kang. I'll see you guys next time. I'm JD Animal. Bye!